So we're going to do another live today. I'm really excited. Saturday. Happy Saturday. Happy, happy, happy. Hopefully you guys can hear me. And I'm going to share the live. And so if you guys come on, share it too if you can. How the bloody hell do you share the live here? Let me see here. So, hello. So we're going to do a lot today. We're going to do an oracle reading. We're going to read from some other Sanskrit books. We're going to... I need to promote my book, Recall. I've been very, very lax on that. Recall. It's it's a nonfiction, creative nonfiction. It's very, very erotic. It's so erotic, apparently, that TikTok Shop banned it. Banned by TikTok Shop. I need to actually do that to sell it. So it's actually a book that is pretty damn good, I would say. Pretty damn good. But it's a chick book, to be blunt. But if TikTok Shop banned it because of its erotic content and it's pretty intense talks of religions and things of like that and conscious awakening, then it must have some fire in it, huh? Because why would TikTok Shop ban Recall? Why would they do that, right? So apparently I pissed some people off. So you can always count on that, right? We're always going to piss some people off. All right, so we're going to start this morning with an oracle reading. We're going to go right into the oracle reading, and then we're going to talk about manifestation and what I feel people are missing into the manifestation boat. Energy, frequency, what you feel about yourself is a big, going to be a big challenge for you. When you manifest, it's always about present tense. It's not, I can't wait to have a house. I can't wait to have a wonderful relationship with my twin. None of that. It's I have. It's present tense always, okay? It's always present tense. Please share the live. Do me a favor because there's a little shadow banning, I believe, because of my stance on certain things. And so I would appreciate if you shared the live, but also because this could help other people, okay? So thank you, Margaret, for sharing the live. I really appreciate that. Yeah, share the live with as many people as you can. For whatever reason, I'm having a hard time sharing the live myself, so that's kind of a bummer. I don't know why that is. They're not letting me share the live. That's bizarre. So thank you, Andromeda Flame, for sharing the live. So the first thing we're going to do is start out the morning with an oracle reading. So I need you guys to give your angels, guides, and allies permission to guide you in this session. Please do that. And I'm going to pull out from Kali Oracle. We live in a very volatile time. We always have, actually, but throughout these centuries that we've incarnated. And we're going to talk about many things today, and I might do another tarot reading if you guys ask, if you guys want to, on the collective. So when you're ready, pick from the top, bottom, or middle. Top, bottom, or middle. Thank you, Poodle Pup, for sharing the live. So when you're ready, pick from the top, bottom, or middle. We're going to start right away. We got 9 people. Love that number. It's my favorite number. God's perfect master number. When you're ready, pick top, bottom, middle, and then we're going to talk about you need a doc holiday. And I'm going to explain to you what that means by having a doc holiday, because a lot of you don't have a doc holiday. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. But first, bottom. Okay, top, bottom, or middle, please. Make a choice. Or else I'm just going to go with Andromeda's, top, bottom, or middle. Right. No, top, bottom, or middle, Becca. Top, bottom, or middle. I want to make sure the majority gets the pick. Come on, let's keep going. Top, bottom. I need one more to kind of make it, I need the majority vote. Becca, thank you for sharing the live. Top, bottom, or middle. One last call. Top. Okay, I'm going top. All right, Shamuda, 31. 31 is, in Kabbalah numerology, is the hermit. It's going within. Shamunda is got a skull. It's almost like a very grueling, intense figure of one of Kali's many personifications. So let me go ahead and read it to you. And I want you to close your eyes and listen with your body as well as your ears. 31, Shamunda. Her unerring instinct for spiritual protection arises spontaneously even when we do not realize we need it. Sometimes we don't realize just how far we've become entangled in that which is not good for us. We do not realize we need Kali's powerful intervention. Knowing what to allow and what to fight for or against requires wisdom. Holding the space for an inner or outer conflict to be resolved involves discipline. Shamunda is the fearlessness, wisdom, patience, and discipline needed to conquer a difficult situation. She is with you now. Wild Black Shamunda is a ferocious warrior goddess. She takes her name from Shanda and Munda, two great demons who she defeated. Thus, her name is a symbol of gaining power. This is interesting. I don't know if you know this, but when Roman generals used to conquer lands, they would take on the name of the country. Like, for example, a famous general who conquered Hannibal and the Carthaginian, his name was Scipio Africanus. So it's interesting that she took on her name of the demons she slayed. Thus, her name is a symbol of gaining power. Her presence indicates that you shall not only overcome an obstacle, but gain complete mastery over. Did you get that? But not only overcome an obstacle, but gain complete mastery over the energies that gave rise to it. You shall never be troubled by it again. You guys are walking through fire. And the fire is the baptism. Baptism by fire. You will never be troubled by it again. That should give you the strength to continue through the fire. Swathed in blood red light, representing her life force and power. Red light, root chakra. You need to work on your root chakra, okay? Shamunda has multiple arms, which indicates her divine activity. The skull and crescent moon resting atop a funeral pyre form her crown, symbolizing her status as a goddess of death and karmic retribution. This is a heavy card. You should think of having the phoenix rising as a symbol. Buy an amulet, put it on your wall, the phoenix rising. The skull and crescent moon resting atop a funeral pyre form her crown, symbolizing her status as a goddess of death and karmic retribution. I think it was worth repeating. So we have had many deaths. We are no longer the 5-year-old we were, no longer the 14-year-old we were, no longer the 25-year-old we were. We are who we are now. And this took les petites morts, la petite mort, which actually is used for intimate acts. But in this case, it's an evolution. You must burn what no longer serves you so that new that it's 11:11. So the skull and crescent moon resting atop a funeral pyre form her crown, symbolizing her status as a goddess of death and karmic retribution. Yet she is protective. Her 3 deeply socketed eyes are so intense they are said to burn away the evil in all worlds and dimensions. She provides protection from destructiveness, including gossip and other kinds of black magic, which, not unlike gossiping, uses intentions, words, and actions to work against another's well-being. Yeah, words have power. Shamunda is referred to as a queen by her soul tribe, a group of ancient mother goddesses known as the matrikas. She is the only one worshipped independently and the only one not connected to a masculine consort. You could say she's a crone, right? She is an independent, fierce, and unique emanation of the wild feminine power of Devi, the great divine goddess. She is an expression of Kali, referred to interchangeably with Kali Ma in the Puranas, ancient Hindu texts that date back more than 2,000 years ago. It dates back more than that. It's more like 10,000. The matrikas express a consciousness that is potentially protective and destructive depending on your actions. These beings are particularly upset by negative expressions of masculine energy, whether expressed by a male or female human. The masculine energy can be healthy or toxic, right? When it is healthy, it is strong, creative, protective, and generative. When it is toxic, it is exploitive, dominating, and damaging, seeking progress at any cost. Right now, we're being ruled by that. This is profoundly disruptive, and rather than the positive destructive power of Kalima, is the unchecked demonic destructiveness of greed. The matrikas are fierce and Shamuda in particular will retaliate against toxic masculinity, causing havoc in the lives of those who live by such values. There are women, matriarchs, who are toxic matriarchs and toxic, who support the toxic patriarchy. And it's been going on for a couple thousand years. Chamunda is worshipped as the ruler of the sacred erection. This is a symbolic of her power over masculine energy. When the feminine has been desecrated in any way, she will not hesitate to retaliate with fierce compassion, which from our human perspective may seem like chaos. Yet, it is a symbol of her honoring the potential power and creativity of healthy masculine energy, facilitating its safe development in the human psyche. Despite her inherent drama and intensity, Shamuda is beloved by her heroic heart. She assists us when we need to find the strength to overcome our psychological limitations and inertia to access, integrate, and sustain higher frequency states of being. Bringing about a permanent structural change of the psyche is hard work. Well, this is where mantras come into play, right? Bringing about a permanent structural change of the psyche is hard work. It is hard work. The monkey mind is, it's one of the hardest things you can master. And master, you must in this particular timeline. It requires commitment. However, bullying ourselves into being different or applying more and more willpower only tends to create resistance, adverse reactions, and exhaustion. That's why you chant, because it is a very simple, soft way to subjugate the monkey mind. We are not here to arm wrestle your monkey mind. It's not a battle. It's not a war. It's a subtle dripping of water. It's a drop of water, eventually smoothing out your monkey mind into submission, into being, giving obeyances to your soul, right? Rather than it trying to control and arm wrestle your soul down to nothing, to a quiet where you can't even hear your soul's wisdom. It is more of a case of applying wisdom, finding the balance between persistence, determination, and compassionate rest and release, so we can integrate and rebuild from within. So this is why somatic healing is important, because quite often, much of the issues of the monkey mind that is actually beating the shit out of you is trapped in your somatic energy. So for example, when you do purging, if you go onto my link tree, right? Not link tree, profile, and you do the purging past lovers and predators, you may actually feel pain in your knee, your hips, your elbows, your back of your neck. Pay attention to that and pause and heal it, because that is it's almost like a physical pain that is wordless. It's not something you can put into words, but it's still trapped there, and it prevents you from having clear thought and clear action. Okay? So everything is softly done. Okay? You don't have to, it's not a battle with your monkey mind. For some personality types, taking rest can require as much discipline as engaging in activity. Did you hear that? For some personality types, taking rest can require as much discipline as engaging in activity. You've got to master the art of doing nothing. You must. Learning to move between the two as appropriate takes strength and wisdom, mastering the balance to nudge ourselves forward on our path and facilitate change, but not so much that we feel defeated even before we gain traction, is advanced inner work. So it is a balance between action and rest, Chamunda is the power to accomplish it. Her presence in a reading is a portent of a truly exceptional breakthrough on your path, the healing of masculine energy and the protection of the sacred feminine within your heart. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. There's a mantra to this, and I'm going to say it. Place your hands in prayers at your heart and continue by repeating the following mantra sequence as many times as it feels good. It's Shamundaye, Kalima, Jema Kali. Shamundaye, Kalima, Jema Kali. Shamundayeya, Kalima, Jema Kali. Wonderful. Awesome. That was an incredible reading. Wow, that was such a message for me with perfect timing. Thank you. Thank you for saying that, Alicia. I'm glad this helped. I'm going to say before I start the talk on Doc Holiday, because it's really important you guys have a Doc Holiday, and many of you don't, unfortunately. the Seven Names of God, which was written by Meher Baba. So I'm going to kind of sing it to you, and I want you to close your eyes, and perfect message for right now. Beautiful. So I'm going to sing it to you maybe 3 or 4 times. It's like a mantra. It's called the Seven Names of God by Meher Baba. Okay, so listen up. Hari Paratma Ha-Hala Ha-Urmazad God Yazdan Hu Hari Paratma Ha-Hala Ha-Urmazda God Yazdan Hu Hari Paratman Ahallah Ha'urmazdad God Yazdan Hu Hari Paratma Ahallah Ha'urmazdad God Yazdan Hu. Okay, so I just wanted to open that with that sacred space because it felt so good. It's been a while since I've done it. Let's go right into Doc Holliday. Okay, now if you guys have never watched the movie Tombstone, which is one of my favorite movies, one of my favorite Westerns ever. I really used to love Westerns, and then I stopped loving them. But when Tombstones came out, I think I've watched that movie like 10 times. And I was talking to a client yesterday, and she had a past life. I did an Akashic record for her. And in one of her past lives, she literally was this incredible healer in the woods of 16th century Germany. She was a beautiful young woman. And she was so fascinated by herbs, and everyone loved her. Like, she wasn't thought of as a witch or anything crazy like that. She was actually honored, loved. And she never could connect with any intimate connection with a man. Because none of these men matched her energies, you know what I mean, or her power. But many men loved her. She was quite beautiful. And long story short, at the age of 37, she caught a fever, okay? A very bad fever, pneumonia, whatever. And as she was dying, she thought to herself, because she couldn't speak, to tell them what herbs to combine to help her, to heal her. Because what she had was healable. She didn't have to pass away. And her thoughts were, I could take care of all of you and save you, but none of you know how to save me. That was pretty powerful. And so suddenly, as I was getting this download, as I was doing this Akashic reading for her, I got the download of Tombstone and Doc Holliday. Now, if you remember the movie Doc Holliday, if you haven't seen that movie, I urge you to watch it because it's a fucking kick-ass movie. But most importantly, it's about the friendship and love of two men. They just showed me Beckett with Richard Burton, and I forgot the other actor. But let's move on to Doc Holliday. And Doc Holliday, as you know, was a gunslinger, and he was incredibly fast. And there was a man who was kind of like bent, like really a psychopath. And White Earp, who's played by, I forgot the name of the actor who's played by White Earp, who he kicks ass in that role, isn't going to survive a shootout with this psychopath. There's no way. And so Doc Holliday plays like he's sick as hell. And White Earp is going to meet this gunslinger, knowing that he's probably not going to make it alive. But somehow, Doc Holliday is, once he sees that White Earp has left his side, because he's coughing up, because he had tuberculosis. I don't know if you guys know that. And long story short, somehow he is able to, move, kind of get to this site where they've agreed to do this shootout. And this psychopath thinks it's White Earp, but Doc Holliday walks out of the mist, if you will, and he says, it's a famous line, I'm your Huckleberry. And of course, he wins. Doc Holliday is the best gunslinger in America. At least that's what it was considered one of the best. And White Earp comes up and sees what Doc Holliday has done for him. He sees the dead man, that's the psychopath who's been shot. And Doc Holliday looks at him, and they look at each other, and it's like, you weren't going to make it. It's not even said. It's a look. And White Earp knows he wasn't going to make it, but it was a point of honor. And so what I'm trying to tell you is we all need a Doc Holliday. You need a Doc Holliday. in your corner. If you don't have someone you can rely on that's a best friend, then you're fucked. You can't be the person who is constantly there for everyone else, but no one's there for you. You need a Doc Holliday. Okay? At the end of the movie, at the scene where Doc Holliday's in the hospital bed, and he tells him about this woman that he loves, and he tells Wyatt Earp, go get that girl. Go get that girl. And he's on his, and don't come back. Don't come back. I don't want you to see me like that. Just leave. He wants to, drop his body alone. So Doc Holliday, this concept of having a Doc Holliday by your side is having someone who you can rely on. I'll give you an example. I have a Doc Holliday. In fact, I have two. One of my friends who I've known for 30 years, my husband had died, as you know, okay, in 2020, July 31st, 2020. And my son was there trying to save his life. And I called my friend and said, I'm 7 hours away. I can't make it fast enough. Can you make sure he's not alone with his father's body? And she was there within a half hour. No questions asked. She was there. And she was there, got my son into a hotel, made sure that the people took my husband's body away, and brought my son to the hotel. And when I arrived at like 1 o'clock in the morning, passed me the keys, told me your son's in bed, he's asleep, and walked in. I said, I'll see you tomorrow morning. And she came back the following morning with coffee and muffins. You need a Doc Holliday. You need someone who has your back. You need someone who loves you and your twin, both. You do not need to take advice from someone who has their own trauma and drama about love, and that they're going to give you false advice based on their own drama. You need someone who loves you so much that they would give you sound advice. Go get that man. Go get that girl, that woman. Does that make sense? Does anybody have any questions or comments? By the way, Huckleberry is the line. It's the person who carries your coffin. I'm lucky to have one. Exactly. And you have to let them know you're my Doc Holliday. This friend of mine who we were broke beyond broke. We lived in Pasadena, California, and there are a couple fantastic museums. One is the Huntington Botanical Library, where they have the Nag Hammadi. By the way, it's stored there. But there was another one called the Norton Simon Museum. And there was, and we would go there because we had students, because we were always in art classes to get shit done in studios. But I remember her and I going to the Norton Simon just to go into their shop where they had these volumes of books. There were letters to Van Gogh to his brother Theo, because she used to call me her Theo. And she still does. Because I would name her paintings and I was always supporting her art. She's an incredible painter. She's the one who had the stage 4 throat cancer. If you guys follow me, you know who I'm talking about. And we would read these letters out loud to each other. And we were trying to conspire how to buy these books. Because we were so enamored by these letters that Theo and Van Gogh were writing to each other. They were so filled with love. Van Gogh's Doc Holliday was his brother, Theo. But because Theo lived in Paris and Van Gogh lived in Provence, he wasn't there to protect his brother by his own monkey mind. The monkey mind's a bitch, my friends. It's the monkey mind that causes people to self-harm, like what Van Gogh did to himself. So you need a Doc Holliday. And so if you don't have one, you better go find you one, okay? Because that is not a joke. Because if you constantly are giving, and you're not feeling safe, a Doc Holliday, I was telling this woman who's a nurse, a practicing nurse, I said to her, you need to have people who you know are smart enough to have your back at a moment. They look at you. They know what you need. They can hear it in your voice. They know what you need. I'll give you an example. A very mundane example, but dangerous example. There are people out there where you could actually choke on a grape and point to your mouth and still ask you what's wrong. Those are dumb people. There are people where you would point to your mouth and you can't speak, would know to do a Heimlich. Immediately, they'd know, I'm doing a Heimlich. No questions, a Heimlich. They would not ask you, what do you want me to do? Well, what's going on? Tell me. And you're choking on a grape. You need a smart Doc Holliday that actually protects you, that has you, and you are their Doc Holliday. It's a even balance, give and take, right? You need that. You need people like that. All you need is one, and you treat them like family because they are your family. They're part of your soul tribe. Quite often, your Doc Holliday is part of your soul tribe. It could be your own family member. It could be your own child that they grow up. They're your Doc Holiday. I don't care who it is, but it doesn't have to be a lover, because sometimes lovers, twin flames, are not, no offense, your Doc Holiday. They're just not. Because you would not be twin flames. A Doc Holiday is a twin ray, for example, like Mary Magdalene and Yeshua. She knew what to do. He knew she would. That's why when he appeared, your resurrection, by the way, April, happy Easter, here we go. She was the one who saw him. She was his Doc Holiday. Believe it or not, I'm your Huckleberry. Here you are coming out of the crypt. You see what I'm saying? So that's going to be very important for you. Some comments in this live. I love this. You guys just scroll, man. Please protect freedom of speech. Protect freedom of speech. Your energies is a boomerang. Be careful what you say. Be careful what you say. Because believe me, our starseeds are being protected by higher forces than you can fathom. Be careful. All right, so I'm going to go right into a tarot reading, because I think you guys really liked it. And is that cool? Is that cool? Any questions so far on the Doc Holiday? Please share, if you can. I'd love it if you guys share your Doc Holiday story, or that you have a Doc Holiday. Anybody has a Doc Holiday, just type in the comments, I got a Doc Holiday. Please, I'd love to see how many of you have a Doc Holiday already. That would be nice, and it'd be good for other people to see that. Can you do that? Can you do that? Andromeda Flame, do you have a Doc Holiday? Anybody? Because I know one of you said it. Jennifer, you said, I'm lucky I have one. Anyone there have one? Can you hear me? I'm just curious. Can you hear the question? Oh, you'll have to look at, okay, Becca, I do, good. And Becca, yes, okay. And just go ahead and listen to the live from the beginning. I'm not going to repeat it because people have been sitting here. Just my live will be uploaded, okay? It will be loaded, okay? Uploaded on my YouTube channel. But if you've ever seen the movie Tombstone, you'll know what I mean. You'll kind of get a clue. If you never watched the movie, there are some movies that are so kick-ass that you guys should watch it. I'm going to give you a list right now, okay? Before we do this reading, The Fifth Element by Luc Besson. The Fifth Element by Luc Besson. Watch that movie. Believe it or not, Layer Cake. Believe it or not, with Daniel Craig. Layer Cake. I'm trying to remember this other movie that's really important. Oh, The Fountain. Look up The Fountain. The movie called The Fountain. Very esoteric. Very, very esoteric movie. And always cheering me on my good times. Yes, you want someone happy for your successes. My friend, Deborah, I'm going to just say her name. God bless her soul. She's an amazing woman. She is not getting what she deserves in this incarnation. And there's a part of me that knows why. Because she waited for her twin flame to see her and to awaken for damn near 13, 14 years. Okay, it took her 14 years to finally let go, and it damn near destroyed her. It damn near did. That's why I'm such an advocate for you guys understanding that you don't wait for your twin flame. You don't live for your twin flame. You are your twin flame. You are your twin flame. If your twin flame is asleep in 3D, right, then you become the conduit. You are not only a twin flame to this journey with your twin flame, but you become a conduit to their twin flame. You become the best versions of themselves, and you have to activate that, and you have to walk that truth. You become your twin flame. She is the best friend that gives the best advice, even if I don't ask for it. That's a friend. That's a friend. That's a friend that says, without you asking, you're fucking up. What do you mean? You're fucking up. You want me to tell you why you're fucking up? Yeah, go ahead, tell me. And you have to put your ego in a jar and listen to your friend who's your Doc Holiday, who's telling you you're fucking up. Okay? When Wyatt Earp was manipulated by Doc Holiday not to be there at that showdown, right? That gunslinging showdown, he had to lie to Wyatt Earp because Wyatt Earp would have never let him do it. So he had to manipulate him. He had to play sicker than he really was. Okay? And sometimes, yes, there is white lies, right? And there are manipulations that are of a white energy, a clear quartz energy, because it's done for the higher good. It's not to manipulate someone into doing something bad. It's to manipulate to protect them from themselves, from their own egos. And so that's really important. It's always delivered from love, so I listen. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Jennifer. I love that. And now that I'm settled or settling, Jennifer, because I know I've been saying this forever, I will work on my Patreon, Jennifer, because I know that's been a fucking thorn, and so I'll work on that so we can open up the doors to more people. So let's go ahead and go for the collective reading, because we were talking about the sacred masculine and healing the patriarchy, right? Which has been supported by toxic matriarchy. Let's look at what's going on. What is the message for the collective patriarchy, for the collective broken and wounded masculine? Can we do that? Are you good? Yeah, I know, finally. I know, I know. I feel bad. Thank you, guys. Okay, go ahead, and when you're ready, pick right, left, or middle. And we're going to read for the broken and wounded masculine. We need to know what the hell's going on, because our men, our masculines, and in some cases gender specific, I'm sorry, their root chakra have been kidnapped by a system that is messing them up. And unfortunately, ladies, my beautiful goddesses, high priestess, it's messing you up. And we cannot have that happen. We all need to be walking towards this ascension. They're showing me, we need to drag many of these broken masculines to the other side by the simple act of us walking forward. That means that you're not dragging them physically. It's not even a metaphoric dragging. It is a simple that magnets are connected to, you're like magnets. So where you go, they go. Okay, where you go, I don't care if they're in Hong Kong and you're in I don't know, fucking Japan. I don't care. Where you go, they go, energetically speaking, until a physical union is possible. Okay? Okay, so when you're ready, right, left, or middle. Right, left, or middle. So let me look at this. Bear with me. Hang on. Middle, left, left. Okay, I'm going to do left because I'm getting more lefts. Okay? I'm getting more. Is that cool? All right, let's do it. Let's look what's going on. The Fool. The Fool in tarot is a brand new beginning. It's almost being reset back to zero. But not zero from... So let's say you're at 4D. So now you've completed your 4D cycle, right? And you're reset to zero and you start 5D. I hope that's clear and I hope that makes sense. Okay, let's keep going. Crossing the reading is the Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords, unfortunately, is sideways, means truths are not being fully handled correctly. There are things not being let go at all, okay? Into the Page of Wands, passion and communication. Let me keep going. Recent past, Eight of Pentacles, a learning curve to the... So good, there's progress. Eight of Pentacles is learning. It's apprenticage. You're not a master yet. You're apprenticaging, okay? So what you need to learn is to apprenticage to your soul, right? You give obeisances to your soul. You train your monkey mind to shut the hell up through mantras, which we discussed yesterday. And then here comes the foundation of the reading, which is Nine of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles is a woman or a man with a hawk on their fist. They have all these pentacles. So material concerns are not a concern. There's abundance. Like there's so much abundance you can actually share your wealth with people. And they are very independent. Crowning the reading is the Three of Wands. Three of Wands is the portals have opened to the Fool. The Fool is a new cycle into the Ace of Swords sideways. That's a concern because Ace of Swords is about truth. The sword Excalibur, the sword Arthur's sword, if you remember, the round table, right? So the sword of truth, and it's sideways. It's been neutralized. Page of Wands is a beautiful message of passion and creativity. Into the King of Cups. The King of Cups is water signs, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer, but it's an energy. And depending on how I'm going to clarify, yeah, I knew it. I was getting this energy of the King of Cups being bereft. Remember, we asked about the broken and wounded masculine. Here we are. King of Cups is massively emotional. In fact, this picture is of a king with the ocean around him. The ocean is around him. And he's sitting on a very little throne in the middle of the ocean. And there are fishes jumping and the waters are rough. Imagine sitting on a throne in the middle of the ocean. There's no horizon. There's no land to be seen. Into the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords is lying, cheating, stealing. But in this case, it isn't. They're not lying and cheating, obviously. They're lying to themselves. Seven of Swords. They're lying to themselves, but outside of their realm is the Two of Cups, this beloved soulmate connection, right? Into the Four of Cups. Four of Cups is refusing an opportunity for what it is. Yeah, that's a lot of emotions. A lot of emotions. I agree with that. So let me clarify. I'm going to go ahead and clarify the cards, and I'll tell you what I see, and we'll go right into it. So yeah, they're going through shit. I just said it. God, and I keep getting this man, a king, a potential king on a throne in the middle of the ocean, and the ocean is choppy. It's rough. Tell me more about, and there are sharks circling that throne. I just saw it. Okay, tell me about the Fool. The Fool is giving us the Hermit, going within. That's not a bad energy, actually, because hermiting is going within. It's an introspective energy. Into the Ten of Wands, it's drop your burdens. Into the Queen of Pentacles, Earth sign, Capricorn, Virgo, and Taurus. It's a very beautiful, grounded energy. It's a divine feminine who is motherly, who is loving, who you can rely on. If she says she'll be there at 9 a.m., she'll be there at 8:55 a.m. In other words, she'll be there, you know? Three of Wands. Tell me why the Three of Wands is here. So dropping the burdens is important. Three of Wands, the portals have opened. It also means I'm getting the hit that it's the third party, and I don't mean a person. It could be. But the third party, and this is something you have to understand. The third party isn't that they're with somebody, though they are with someone, okay? Let's just get that clear. The third party is their monkey mind that puts them in this situation where they've chosen someone who is not their match, who lowers their frequency, and so forth. The third party can be distance, it can be job, it can be duty, it can be fear. There's a lot. And all of that are encompassed in one truth, which is the third party can represent all of these things in another lover, you know, wife, husband, whatever. And so the Three of Wands is the portals have opened, third party to the lovers, which is a choice. Into the Four of Wands, 11, you're on the right track. Into make a choice. What do you want? I want 411. Yeah, but in other words, I want Four of Wands. But the Seven of Cups is showing us this confusion of choices. And so there's low-hanging fruit and high-hanging fruit. And sometimes taking a ladder and reaching on your tippy toes to get the golden apple is more important than getting the rotten fruit on the ground. Physically present, but emotionally absent, king of third party. Yeah, emotionally absent. Not even physically present in some cases. Why is the Ace of Swords sideways? The Ten of Cups is beautiful. It's an energy of literally love, emotional fulfillment, marriage, commitment, all of that. It's beautiful. But it's sideways. Remember, Ace of Swords is, I'm not going to speak my whole truth. I'm not going to cut things away that need to be cut out so I can get the Ten of Cups. Because Five of Wands. Five of Wands is outside distractions. Into the Knight of Pentacles upside down. Whatever's going on, it's happening fast. It's happening really fast. Page of Wands. Why is that here, please? Seven of Wands. So you've got a lot of sevens. You've got Seven of Swords, Seven of Pentacles, Seven of Cups. 777. Look that up. That's an angel message for you. Okay, look it up later on Google. Google 777 angel numbers, because all the sevens I'm looking at are negative. Seven of Swords, Seven of Wands, Seven of Cups. Confusion, defensive energy, not good. Okay, let's keep going. The world upside down. A new cycle is not beginning. Okay, tell me more. Seven of Swords again, denial. So the messages that are coming in are being fought away by the masculine, the broken masculine. The world upside down means there's no new cycle happening. They're reverberating, looping into this. Seven of Swords means they're lying to themselves. You're not lying. You're not cheating. They're not cheating. It's not a cheating situation. It's a lying situation. Cheating oneself from happiness. Does that make sense? Any comments or questions? All right, let's go into the King of Cups, which is bereft. Two of Wands. I have the world in my... In other words, they know that you are accessible. Okay? They have the world in their hand. They know they can do it, but they won't. Two of Wands is stagnation. What do I do? Seven of Pentacles upside down. This is wild. Not making a choice to invest. Not doing anything. Tell me more. Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords is a very analytical energy. It's an air sign. It represents Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini. And this energy is why. So what they do is they shut down. They go from the emotional shit show of being in the middle of the ocean in their throne to suddenly analyzing this Queen of Swords energy, which is their energy. I'm not seeing it as a person. I'm seeing them shifting from the emotional to the mental. And unlike the King of Swords, which would be a very hard ass situation, like really cold, like shutting down, like almost like neutralizing all emotions. There are still emotions, but it's contained within the Queen of Swords, which is the Queen of Swords is analytical energy. It doesn't make sense. It's not right time. The timing's not right. They're better off without me. Things of that nature. Tell me more about the Seven of Swords here, please. The Six of Swords. It's weird how this is all up. I don't read reversals on the side note. Six of Swords upside down is they're not moving into calmer waters. Four of Pentacles upside down is that they're not holding on to anything. Ten of Pentacles is what they're trying to create. It's like a man saying, there's a concept that men marry when they're ready, right? That's one concept. Men marry when they're ready. Very few men marry for love. It's time now. And that's weird to me because you and I have been men before. And so the soul is genderless. So when the person is controlled by their monkey mind, and then shut down the monkey mind to neutralize any feelings, that goes with men and women, right? And so suddenly now it's time to get pregnant, right? So it's all this weird analytical energy instead of going with the flow, going with love, going with the heart. Oh my God, I'm 21. I met the love of my life. Oh, I'm too young to do this. That's ridiculous. Or I'm working at Walmart. It's not ready. It's not time yet. Things like that. These weird ideas of timing, making decisions on loving, on settling for someone. It happens a lot. And it happens because it's reverberation from past lives when we were in arranged marriages. Arranged. For land, for money, for power, for alliances. Don't think that shit doesn't affect us today in the 21st century. It does. All right, Two of Cups. Tell me more about that. Two of Cups to the Page of Wands, to the Six of Cups, to the Two of Pentacles. So that's spy energy. I'm going to be blunt. Some of you are spying on your twin or trying to figure your twin out. Six of Cups, good memories, past life connections. Two of Pentacles, juggling. What do I do with this? Let me get another card for that Two of Pentacles. I'm just curious. Why is it Two of Pentacles here, please? Five of Pentacles, homeless feelings. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So not only are you juggling these concepts, but so is your person. Listen to this. This is important. Five of Pentacles is being homeless. Four of Wands is what you all want, including your person. But most importantly, Five of Pentacles is what is actually happening. What you guys both want is the Four of Wands. 11, marriage, commitment, home, earth, love, connection. It's beautiful. But it's being juggled. It's like I've got to get my ducks in a row. When my kids are 18, then we'll do it. When I get a better job, then I'll do it. When my partner is no longer sick, then I'll do it. When it's always when, not now. Today is the now. And so there's this juggling of material concerns, the homelessness to the Four of Wands. That's sad. This is a very sad reading, actually. Four of Cups, refusing an opportunity to justice, upside down again, and it fell sideways. Justice is not being served. I'm shocked I'm getting all these reversals. Into the Queen of Cups upside down. Queen of Cups to the King of Cups. Emotionally bereft. Well, no shit, it's kicking your ass. Emotionally bereft. Queen of Cups upside down. I can't believe, I'm like shocked here. All right, tell me more, please. Into the Chariot. Tell me more about the Chariot. Chariot is Cancer energy. It's fast-moving energy. Very, very fast. It's also distance travel. Tell me more about the Chariot. What's going on here? Page of Cups. Message is coming. Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords to the Queen of Swords is an imbalance of power. Fast-moving energy, fast-moving messages, impatience. Into the Six of Swords, moving into calmer waters. Tell me more, please. What's ultimately the story? Eight of Pentacles, learning curve. Nine of Cups, wish fulfillment. Three of Cups, reunion. Many of you will go into a reunion with your person. There's no doubt, your twin. But the reunion, will the reunion be lasting, please? Death, transformation, Three of Pentacles to the Ace of Cups, mastery. Yes, Three of Pentacles to the Ace of Cups is mastery. Fantastic. You may go through a reunion. I'm not going to call this third party at all. I'm going to say that it's mastery to the Three of Cups, reunion to the Nine of Cups, wish fulfillment to the Ace of Cups. But before that, there's the Eight of... You're being forced to do more work. So is your twin. Your death is transformation, and it's very unpleasant. So you may come into union, and you better not do the following, because that's what most, no offense, chicks do. They'll go, why didn't you call me? Why are you still with her? Why? And some men do that. They get pissed. They get cold. They shut down. Don't do that shit. If that twin comes back into your circle, you better do the following. How have you been? Geez, I've missed you. I've been doing yoga. I've been doing mantras. I work on my chakra. You better talk spiritual talk. You better educate them right away. You better say, I want to share this book. It's so exciting. Can we listen to it on Audible together? Can we go hiking in the woods together? Can we lay down and let the sun heal us together? You better get in that place and not resentment, because what happens when you're a chaser is that when the runner comes back, many chasers become runners. This is known because you're so pissed off, and yet you're afraid to be hurt again. And that's normal. But you better put all that shit aside, because if you don't, you will not have the transformation you need. Instead of being a soft transformation like temperance, it will be a fucked up transformation like death. I'm just letting you know. And right now I'm seeing death. And so what happens in death, which by the way on the side note is 13, right? Just in case that hits you on a number, is that you will go through a separation again. However, this is the part that you've got to wrap your head around. However, if you've been doing the work like I'm suggesting you do, which works, you're going to have a twin that runs, but now is armed with spiritual knowledge. And the spiritual knowledge is not, oh, you're my twin flame. Yeah, you don't say that to, please don't do that. There's so much shit about twin flames right now. That's the worst thing you can say. What you would say to them is, I guess we have some kind of soul contract. Damn, I don't know why you keep coming back and why I keep taking you back and why we're together. I mean, state the obvious, the pink elephant's in the room, right? But hopefully you've armed them with books, with understanding of mantras, with chanting, with reincarnation, with soul contracts, with what is the debt? What are we supposed to learn from each other? What are we learning from each other? What is this dynamic? Are you playing out your father and mother wound? Am I playing my father and mother wound? Is this from a past life? You should be doing a hypnotherapy past life regression if you can, to find out who you really are. Who you really are. Okay, don't get caught up with the names like Ann, Jennifer, Patricia, Bob, Bill, and Daniel. Okay, that's a name today. That's not your name. All right, so what I'm seeing though is reunion. So whoever's listening to it, reunion's coming. Okay, but it's coming, and right now it's kind of like a GPS. You put the coordinates to a place you want to go to, and it says accident ahead, right? Accident ahead is the death card. But then you master it. Mastery comes. How does mastery come? Well, because you don't let your ego decide moves you're going to make and things you're going to say. You actually allow your throat chakra to be a conduit to your higher self and to source when you talk to your twin. Which once you master, here comes the Ace of Cups, which is new love. Why is it new? Well, because it's a new way of loving yourself and your twin and understanding each other and not being so bent up with, will he love me again? Is he still with this other woman? Does he love her too? These are, no offense, stupid questions. They're stupid questions. A smart question is, why are we constantly going through this chaser-runner dynamic? Is this from a past life? Are we playing out our parents? Did I watch my mother sob while my father was cheating, or vice versa? What am I playing out vibrationally? What is my twin triggering in me to heal these incredible dark skeletons that I haven't wanted to look at? Am I jealous? Am I possessive? Why am I jealous and possessive? Why am I afraid? Why do I compete with other men or women? Those are the smart questions. Does that make sense? Any questions or comments? Good advice. Well, I hate to say this. It's good advice because I've actually done it personally, and I've done it with clients who've actually won. They've won. So, I mean, it's not like I don't know what I'm saying. I mean, I've got clients I coach on this. That said, I think they marry who's around them when they're ready. Again, this feels like it's for me. I have a very nice temporary residence, but I'm homeless. I hear what you're saying. But you're not homeless. We're all homeless. We're all nomads, Extremely unpleasant. I can't tell you how unpleasant. I read books, listen to music, talk. Right now we are in our RV in the deep forest by a lake, enjoying nature just for inspiration. I think that's amazing. I miss the closeness. I know, but you can be with your twin in bed and be homeless and be alone. Just let's not forget. I remember in 2018 when we went through our first separation. That was a very important separation. It was very important. I was going to do ayahuasca, and he was going to go on another state. And the last night we spent together in bed felt like the Grand Canyon. Okay? Felt like he was on one side and I was on the other. I'm not joking. So don't think that because when your twin flame shuts down in you and you shut down in your twin flame, there's nothing more homeless feeling than that. Okay? And so it happens. Don't think that it's all rosy. It's not. You can be in that situation and you're alone, and then you can be in separation and actually feel the closeness. Thank you for last night. Back in 5D, heart chakra is back to normal. Phew. Yes, you needed that, and thank you for trusting me with what you needed. This is beautiful. All the questions Tony says we've done, so put in the work. Exactly. Please, just trust. Trust the separation is in for the best of you, not the worst of you, not being punished. You're being asked to look deep within yourself. You're being given the time, because when you're together with your twin, it is fun, sex and food and nature and rolling and being like childlike and having a great time. But the problem is, and there's the problem, no offense, okay, is that you're not able to focus on your spiritual work. For you and your twin to have lasting union that flips from twin flame, runner, chaser, bullshit, all that, into twin ray, the kindergarten steps of the twin ray union, right? The connection. And so in this particular timeline we live in during the ascension, we're being asked to right a lot of wrongs, a lot of betrayals throughout these incarnations where our twin, like I have a past life. I'm going to share it with you. I have a past life when I'm a gypsy girl. I'm barefoot. I have very pretty feet. In this life, in that past life. It's funny too because he loves my feet. And so I'm barefoot. And he's a monk. He's a Capuchin monk. He's like 6'4", gorgeous young man with a Capuchin. I don't know if you know what I mean. Robin Hood monk, you know that guy? But really just a beautiful man. And I have all these dark locks and dark eyes. And I'm teasing him with my ankles and my feet because I don't know if you know, 17th, 18th century, you didn't show your ankles. That was very, very alluring, And here I am with a skirt to my calf muscles, and I'm digging my toes in the mud, and he's going crazy. We were never lovers, but we were twin flames. And I remember this teasing and him resenting me for it and wanting me and yet resenting me for it. And there was fire between us, but we were never in union. Clearly, I was a gypsy. I was a nomad, right? And that was one of the downloads I got that shocked me, okay? And of course, we've had past lives in Japan, Egypt, and the list goes on. I'm not going to go into it. But the point is, we've had many situations where we met, and because of our environment and how society had rules, and caste systems that were put into place, right? We could not be together. And if we were, it was done illicitly, and it was done under the cover of darkness and fear, followed every step of our way. And then, of course, there was massive separation. There's an old saying that my twin was saying when we were in separation. He said, there's never a happy ending to a love affair. He would send that to me. There's never a happy ending to a love affair. And it struck me. I think Hemingway wrote that line. I'm not sure to give credit to the right person. But anyway, that is a true line. Because no matter what, even as a twin ray, if your person drops their body before you, that is not a happy end to a love affair, is it? Unless you become so transcendental in 5D, and you're in 5D most of the time, that you can still connect with your twin. and you're okay with it. You can handle it. Where your connection with your twin on the other sides of the veils are still, you're still in union. You're still in communication. You're still intimately, I'm not joking about this, intimately connected with your twin, though they have transformed out of this body. But unless you get to that level of transcendental power, there will never be a happy ending to a love affair. So that's something to take note. Choose happiness. You have to trust yourself first. Exactly. I choose happiness. I feel you. Is there okay, hang on. Let me go back all the way. Doing energy work every day, almost to the exclusion of everything else. I'm becoming radiant and in tune. Yes, you are. I did. The trust is the hardest part when they are married to someone else when you meet. Yes. And it happens a lot. And let me tell you about the marriage. This is interesting too. Because quite often, there are two scenarios to that. Why is your twin married to someone else when you meet? Listen to this. This is mind-blowing to me. Quite often, I'd say 80% of the time, they're married to someone that they have such heavy karma with. That's not a karmic marriage. Pay attention. I was married to my high-level soulmate. High level. I still love my husband. He's passed away. But what happens is that there was a lot of toxic things. And when your twin walks into you while you're in a toxic marriage, okay, addictions and what have you, it puts you to notice that it is not normal to be in a toxic marriage, that there is nectar out there, and the nectar is being brought to you by a twin. And when you look at nectar and you look at the shit show of your marriage, and you still stay out of loyalty, children, whatever, you are now been put onto notice by the universe that this is not normal. Do something about it. This is not a marriage you should be in for much longer. There's going to be an expiration date. You've been put on the notice. You don't know when the marriage is ending, but it's ending. And it will end. Full stop. The other reason why a twin flame meets a married twin is because they are happily married. I'm not joking. I had a client like that. She was happily married to her high-level soulmate. Gorgeous man, rich, both gorgeous people, in love, sex, incredible lover. And she met her twin. And her twin was a shit show. Shit show, okay? They had sex, so there was the first root chakra connection, right? The connection was important in the root chakra for a reason. And there are multiple reasons, but the ignition, if you will, of the perfect marriage. I have a perfect life, and we're wealthy. He's poor. It's like, why? I said, because you're supposed to activate him. You don't need him. He needs you to activate him. And what happened is, when we did a following reading, she said, well, I don't, will I ever be in union with my twin? I said, yes, in 20 to 25 years. I rarely say that to couples, to twins. But I said it because I saw it. It was a download. Boom. And she said, well, but what happens to my husband? And I paused. And she went, oh. I go, yeah, people die. But by this time, your connection with your twin will be that you will send books and tapes and links and this and that. Her husband is such a high-level soulmate that he said, go to him. I love you. Go to him. See what this is. Knowing she was going to make love, to be intimate with him. So she went, and she went, I don't understand this. It was awful. I go, yeah, because there's no more need for that. The activation was done. You need to just send him links, books, and then shut it down for a while until you're in meditation and you get a message that it's time to send him more spiritual learning tools. And then when you need to, shut it down again. That's it. That's why the intimacy was shit, because it's done. Your body's saying no. You're done. Go back to your high-level soulmate, who actually let her do this. He said, I wish I could love another woman. I wish I could be with another. I can't. I just want you. But do what you need to do. And she came back to him fully. It was a new love, if you will. It's pretty amazing, right? And so there was a soul contract between her husband, the high-level soulmate, to this twin. This will happen in this incarnation, and I will allow it. And he was so in his heart that he allowed it. He did not let his ego do bullshit, do fuckery. Highly evolved, high-level soulmate. Why would she leave that for an addicted, crazy, depressed, whatever? So now do you understand why that happens? The marriage to the twin, that kind of deal. These are the two scenarios that I've seen over the years. Let me see what else. We're both married, but I divorced, and he stayed with her. Their marriage is very toxic. Yeah, because he's not getting he's not fucking getting the fucking memos from the universe. And that's why you can't keep having, leave her, leave her, leave her. No, you don't tell someone to leave someone. You tell them, here's a book by Dr. Joe Dispenza. You've got to get them to awaken spiritually so they can meditate, so they can get download, so that one day in their meditation goes, fuck, I'm done. I'm out. Fuck this. I'm out. Does that make sense? But you can't keep having the same bloody around, revolving door conversation about the same damn subject. Why are you with her? I love you. It's all your ego. I understand. It's very hard to deflect the ego and speak from the transcendental truth of your soul's throat chakra, right? Very difficult. But once you do the spiritual work that we keep talking about doing, I mean, I have a friend who's in a twin ray connection. Okay, I adore her, and she is very transcendental. And the only problem is that her person is immersed in duty. The man, you got to give the guy, he's got integrity. What can you do with integrity? And so now she has to be the conduit to her twin and to herself in the spiritual work during the ascension time that we're going through. And eventually he will be locked. He'll be the duty-bound chains that he's under will dissolve. Maybe it's because she needs to come into her full high priestess energy, her full. And then suddenly, miraculously, he'll walk in as the high magician priest, her counterpart, her true counterpart, right? Because the duty will be done. Not to mention, don't forget, there is contracts with children. And these children may be children. They're in little 3-year-old bodies, but these are highly evolved souls. Many of them born 2000, 2010, and so forth are highly evolved starseeds. They're badasses. And many of them are not your children. They're actually your mentors. One of your kids is a mentor. You've got to understand that. So no, you can't leave them. Not today, not yet. It's not time yet. The soul contract is not expired yet. So there's a lot of moving parts to why. And many people who are low vibration, sometimes I actually question people who say they're in twin flames, because every twin flame I've ever met that was in love with a twin that was married never was angry at their twin, meaning angry to the point of vengefulness. That's what I mean by angry. You can be angry, don't get me wrong, but angry to the point of rabid, toxic, vengeful anger, even towards the kids. All my twin flames never act like that. They're angry, of course, but they're not like that. And so when somebody says, okay, I don't think you're a twin flame at all. I know you're fucking not. Because if you were, there's this unconditional love that even enraptures the children of your twin with another person. I know that for a fact. Without a doubt. So because some of these kids that they've had through the womb of another woman are actually part of your soul team as well, by the way, on the side note. That's what's interesting. Any questions or comments or shares? The trust is the hardest part when they are married to someone else and there's no longer communication with them. I know. Cherish every moment. I dreamt of another 3D reality last night, healing the path to myself and twin in another reality. Beautiful. Here we go with the puzzle again. That's beautiful. And keep doing that. This is truth. We are both, thank you, Gail, I'm glad this resonates with you. I'm really grateful. We're both married, but I divorced and he stayed. I read that already. But yeah, you divorced. I'm married, toxic, my twin who lives in another country. It happens a lot. When I woke up to TF, the cord between my husband and I was immediately cut. Yeah, that can happen. Shit. That, in fact, quite often. It's scary, actually. It's kind of intense for people. Yes, my oldest is my mentor. There you go. What book do you recommend for twin flames? Okay, so you've got, you start with the beginning. You start, to me, these are primers, okay? And they're important. If you're dealing with the masculine twin flame, any gender, here are the following books for any gender, and then I'm going to go with the masculine in a minute. Okay, so the books you're going to give him, Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza. I talk about this book till I'm blue in the face. I've been telling clients to read that book for, I think, the last 4 or 5 years. When it came out. When it came out, it hit the Wall Street Journal. Okay? Not New York Times, my friends, Wall Street. Now, what is Wall Street? It talks about trade, right? Stocks and bonds and commodities, and I guess crypto. I actually don't know on that end. But anyway, but the point is, think about it for a second. Wall Street. These are very analytical people who want to make money. Why would that book, of all books, make the Wall Street Journal bestseller? And I remember getting a download because I really wanted to know how the fuck did that happen, because it shocked me. And I saw somebody, a couple people trading on the trading floor, never missing a move by seconds. You know, they also trade currency, right? Okay. So by never missing a move. And people come, and I saw this, people coming up to a couple of these people. I saw a particular individual, and people coming up to him and going, "What the fuck are you doing, man? You're not missing a move." "Oh, I'm meditating." But what are you doing? Like really, I want to know, because I can't make ends meet. "Oh, I'm reading Becoming Supernatural. I've been meditating. I'm working on my, orbs. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And I don't know, man, I do it every morning. And I sometimes meditate for an hour. And I just, I get up at 3:00 in the morning and I do my thing. And it's working. It's working. That's actually the download I got. It's the answer I got. Books like that become word of mouth books. Kind of like Women Who Run with the Wolves is a book that's a word of mouth book. But anyway, going back to Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza. Yes, that's the book. Why? Because in the book is the story of a woman who her husband unalivened himself. I hate that word. And she was bereft. She was like, what signs did I miss? Anyway, after years, she was riddled with tumors in her throat, all over her body. Okay, I'm not kidding. And she was told, you have 6 months to live. She had little kids. And you have 6 months to live. Like, put your affairs in order, because, we don't know what else to do for you. And she'd come across some books of Dr. Joe Dispenza. And for 2 years, she meditated. Straight up, 2 years. Meditation. Visualizing, dissolving these tumors. And you know that actually she was cancer-free. And from that, she went to one of his retreats. And from there, 6 years later, she is part of her team. She works for him. If you can dissolve inoperable situations, cancer, then imagine what you could do in terms of manifesting a life you want. Okay? Grief will mess up your money no matter what you do. If grief is part of you, whether you've lost someone you love to any way, suddenly, abruptly, violently, whatever, it will mess up your root chakra to levels you can't even fathom. Okay, you will not be able to function. But if you are in a protocol when things are good of manifesting, meditation, mantra, chakra clearing, and you do it every day, when the shit hits the fan, you're less likely to drown when the shit hits the fan. Okay, that's a wisdom. So that's book number 1. Book number 2 is The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. And The Untethered Soul starts with you like realizing that you are not who you think you are. Whatever you're looking in the mirror is an illusion of a 3D reality, which is fine, It's a personality that you've taken on through the lineage, right? Have you ever seen people who literally sound like their parents? Like their voice inflection and what have you? The way they raise their eyebrow is like daddy or mommy. Okay, so it's that. We're taking on these personalities, right? And then, of course, we have this ego that is within us, right? And this ego, unfortunately, has been the ruler of our destinies for multiple incarnations. And today, in this particular timeline, we're able to discern between the ego, the I, and the me. Eckhart Tolle, with The Power of Now, talks about chapter 1. I believe it was chapter 1 I forgot. It's been a year since I read it. But where he talks about the me and the I. Okay? And Michael Singer, the book for men in particular, because men, unfortunately, have been indoctrinated into money, into success, into the Andrew Tate, Gordon Gekko bullshit, Wall Street, that kind of thing. The book I would recommend for any 3D twin is The Surrender Experiment by Michael Singer. I have read that book 10 times on Audible. 10 or 20 times. I kid you not. That book is fucking amazing. And the reason why it's amazing is because when Michael Singer wrote The Untethered Soul, which is pretty phenomenal, He was facing 25 years in maximum prison for fraud with the FBI after him. And if you read the Surrender Experiment, realizing that during that time he was writing The Untethered Soul, it's pretty magnificent. And the man is a billionaire. And he never chased money. He chased his ego. He wanted to know, what is this voice? I fucking want this voice to stop. And he was chasing meditation. And unbeknownst to him, because his frequency was so powerful and he was such an incredible meditator, that was his passion, to meditate, that money, in other words, material abundance, fell in his life with no effort, none. That's the secret. Chasing money is not like that. And money, the root chakra, will be felled by a loss, by the night of the soul. And the thing that I can tell you that helped me not completely drown, and I'm going to be blunt with you, end up in a tent like many beautiful souls have ended up in, is because when my husband died, when my mother died, and I'm dealing with my full souls have ended up in, is because when my husband died, when my mother died, and I'm dealing with my twin being very ill, just so you know, my spiritual practice kept me from drowning. My spiritual practice was the buoy I needed to hang on while I was dealing with the human experience of grief. Does that make sense? And now, here I am. So I'm not telling you something I haven't walked. I haven't lived, and I'm not living still. But if I didn't have a spiritual practice, I would be done. There's no way I would be talking to you right now. There's no way. I wouldn't have the bandwidth. I wouldn't have the wherewithal. I wouldn't have the ability to download. My throat chakra right now is not mine. I'm downloading. Or else, if it was me, I would hesitate. Does that make sense? So, for women, the book I would get is called Women Who Run with Wolves by Clarissa S.S. Pincola. But if you actually Google Women Who Run with the Wolves book, it will come up. And that book is a book you do buy as a hardback, because it's what I call an oracle book. And an oracle book is when you just say, what do I need to know, angels? Give me a message. And boom, you open it wherever, and there is the message. And it's a Carl Jungian archetypal concept that uses fairy tales that, Hans Christian Andersen fairy tales and so forth. And if any of you have the book in your shelf, if most of you who have it, it was given to you by another woman. It's one of these books gifted by women to women. And if I were you, I would read The Red Shoes, if I were you. And in The Red Shoes, which by the way is a famous ballet, in The Red Shoes, you realize how we as women have been told not to desire, not to want. Because if you want too much, here's what happens to you. It's really fucked up. So read that book. It's really cool. The book that is a neutral energy that I like very much, and I tell all my men to read it and all my women who are raising sons to read it, is called Raising Cain, Protecting the Emotional Life of Boys. You will see a little blonde boy with a red background, Raising Cain, Caine, Protecting the Emotional Life of Boys. And this is an amazing book that I read when my son was going through his shit at 10, from 10 to 12, going through puberty, so on, 10 to 12, 13, 14. And it gave me the understanding of how I could talk to my son without saying, how was school today? Fine. And that's the end of the conversation. Let's go watch a TV show. It's like, fuck. So I started taking long hikes with him. And one of my counsels to many of my clients is, I always tell them, walking loosens the tongue. I'm not kidding. I don't know why. If you have little children, like under 10, like 7-year-olds, 5-year-olds, get puppets. I'm not joking. They will talk and say things to the puppet that they will never say to you, though you're the one holding the damn puppet with the funny voice. It's the weirdest thing, psychology of children. It's very magical, actually. And so I would do that. But Raising Cain, every grown man should read it. Every grown woman who has a man in her life should read it, just so you know. It's a very important book. Okay, let me read your comments. That's awesome, Jennifer. Dr. Joe Dispenza said he was paralyzed before he claimed no, that he wasn't, and now he's not. Dr. Joe Dispenza goes into a lot more detail than that, though you're limited to what you can type. He was hit by a car. He was a chiropractor in San Diego in the 80s. He was hit by a car, dragged, and there was an operation. They had a 5-day window to do this operation, or else to fuse his vertebrae. I'm not a clinician. I don't know how to tell you the details. Andromeda, anyway. My friend would know better than me. That's for damn sure. But suffice it to say, he says in his story, he says, this was an operation that is standard. This is an operation I would told any of my clients to take, but somehow now it was me, and I did not want the operation. So I had them deliver me to my house. They put me on a plank, and I would visualize and manifest, and I healed each discs. That's what he did. And he did it for something like a year, because he should have been in a wheelchair, because the window was closing 4 days, 3 days, 2 days, 1 day. We can't do the operation. It's too late now. Okay? And so that's what happened. And from that, he began to discover, he became a mystic, a scientific mystic. He was a chiropractor. And so becoming supernatural is a Bible, in my opinion. There are other books like Super Brains by Dr. Deepak Chopra. It's written with another man who's a physician, but it's called Super Brain and Super Genes. Andromeda, you should buy those books. Super Brain and Super Genes. Look up those two books, Deepak Chopra, and you'll find them. Get them on Audible, okay? Fantastic books. In fact, I'm back to reading those books again because I've been out of the loop. And I think I got those books back in 2016. That's a great book. Thank you, Tony, for sharing. Thank you for the recommendations. It's what saves you. Meditation and chakra work and having a circle of souls. Exactly. If I wasn't spiritual, I wouldn't survive this TF's journey. No, you would not. I have the book, Such a Gift. Thank you. Repeat the name of the book. The Women Who Run with the Wolves. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you, Andromeda. Thank you. So does that make sense? My beautiful souls, my beautiful soul family, my starseeds. So when you are educating your twin, okay, here's how you educate subtly, very subtly, without being in their face. So you're back in union with your twin. And the first thing they see when you get up in the morning is you're saging yourself, and then you sit in the meditation. And they watch you. People don't do what you tell them to do. People do what you do. They emulate you. So they're seeing you, making breakfast, you're eating clean, and you decide to put on, as you're cooking, the untethered soul. And you have a discussion. That's interesting. What are you reading? What are you listening to? Oh, the untethered soul. It's about blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, let's have breakfast. You want to hear chapter 2? Yeah, that's cool. That's how you seed your twin. When you're not listening to books on tapes, which I've always listened to books on tapes. I love reading, don't get me wrong. But I remember reading one of my best memories ever, which I wrote in my book, Recall, is when my husband and I read Lady Chatterley's Lover by Judi Dench on a stormy day. Oh my God, what a fun day. That was such a fun day. And we listened to Lady Chatterley's Lover. And we were in each other's arms. It was such a beautiful day. With all our windows open as it's rainstormed, thunder clapping, and so forth. When you have books on tape, you're sharing wisdom, you're sharing knowledge, you're pausing the tape and discussing it and putting it back on. That's how you create true intimacy. And you're creating an atmosphere around you and your twin that can never be replicated by anyone else. Because most people don't live like that or do these things. They just don't. Make sure that if you have a smart TV, you're listening to 528 hertz, 432 hertz, 1111. There are other hertz, 174. 8 hertz, which feels like kind of annoying, but it's not. Also look at 528 hertz whales, the sonic frequency of whales and dolphins. Make sure you find that. It's very easy to find, actually. And you can hear the sonic frequency of whales and dolphins while ambient music at the 528 hertz is being played. Try to stay away from bullshit shows. I love a good movie. I mean, if you ever watch Layer Cake, you'd go, is this the same woman who told me to read these books? But Layer Cake has me laughing. It's a very well written story, very good dialogue. So I'm up for a good movie. Don't get me wrong, but I don't just want. I sometimes I do readings for people, and I'll hear the TV in the background. I go, you need to turn off the TV, and they'll go, oh yeah, turn it off. I'm trying to hear my guides, and your TV is like infringing on my bandwidth. You know what I mean? Number one. Number two, why is your TV on? You know, why? Are you that lonely that you need sounds of voices on your set? I've actually seen people who are creators literally creating content, and you can hear the TV in the background. I'm like, what the fuck is this? You know? So be careful what you allow in your household. Okay? It's either going to be high frequency music, or you're watching Gaia.com, or you're watching kaleidoscopes on your TV set with high frequency music. But please be discerning. Or waterfalls and beautiful scenes of nature with 528 going on, and do that, but don't do the rest. Like, try to get into that. Food habits is interesting. Have you explored the Gateway Project? No, but text me on WhatsApp. And let's talk about that. That's interesting. I might know it, but I'm not going to say yes because off the top of my head, I can't say. Don't do this stuff, or they don't share this stuff. Thank you, Tony. They don't do this stuff, or they don't share this stuff. Thank you. Okay, gotcha. Yes. So food habits. You mentioned a few weeks ago the knowing, several out there, which ones to watch. I don't watch a lot. I follow a lot of people because I'm also very politically, fuck political. I'm a human rights activist. So I watch many people who are talking about human rights infringements and injustices, to be honest. There aren't many people I watch. The people I watch on Gaia, I will give you names. The influencers, I've watched a couple like dramatic, because I don't know why actually. Maybe I needed some stupid food candy, cotton candy for my brain for a second. I watch certain things in the spiritual community that are just, I'm like, Barat. I'm like in shock. But I'm going to give you names of people you should watch that are really beautiful people who walk their talk. Adam Apollo is immediately the guy who I love. Adam Apollo. I would like you to introduce yourself in watching Adam Apollo on Gaia.com. So go on Gaia.com and share and search him on Adam Apollo, and you'll see him being interviewed by Ruben. And there's part 1 and part 2. Please watch it. It's fucking extraordinary. The man's extraordinary. This is a young man that has the energy of a praying mantis. I'm not joking, in a good way. And there's an elegance to him. And he's a Syrian ambassador, SYRA. Well, anyway, Syrian ambassador from another planet, right? Syria. And he's extraordinary. Regina Meredith is amazing. Hang on for a quick second. Fuck, I'm trying to remember the name of this guy who did the whole thing called Psychedelia. Watch Psychedelia on Gaia.com. Ben Stewart. Ben Stewart's amazing. Amazing. I think he's getting tweaked out a little bit. I'm serious. A lot of our sacred masculines are getting their asses kicked. And I start seeing something happening to him. And I'm like, what the hell is he doing? He's doing way too much, microdosing, or he's doing too much of something. But he did his first documentary watch. It's shocking. Okay, I'm going to be blunt. But he's an incredible filmmaker. Look at his show, Psychedelia. Dr. Joe Dispenza is up there as well. I'm trying to think of someone else. I'm going to be honest with you. George Norrie annoys the shit out of me. He asks the most pedestrian questions, but he has the most interesting guests. So if you can handle his questioning, he's really good. Those are the only people. And I'm giving you names of people on Gaia because honestly, I'm not too impressed. Oh, yes. Astral Legends. Watch Astral Legends on YouTube. Look up Astral Legends. He's also on TikTok. He's fucking badass. He's badass. And Billy Carson. I did not like Billy Carson for years. I did not like Billy Carson for years and years and years. I saw a look in his eyes that was stone cold dead. Like there was just black obsidian. And now I'm seeing something shifted in him. He's becoming humbled. He's way better than he was. He's living the life of, of Riley. He's having an amazing life, and he's sharing the wisdom in a very beautiful, open-hearted way. Whereas before, he was kind of an a-hole. No offense, I'm just being honest. But now something must have shifted in him, because now I actually follow him. I like him a lot. Let me see here. So I hope that answers your question. Muscle Money, I'm slowly becoming vegan. I have mixed feelings about it, but it's happening. It's a movie, I think. Muscle Money, Joy, oh my God, really? I've been thinking about vegan food. So let me tell you what happened with me. I first became a vegetarian when I met my twin in 1982. Okay? He told me eating animal flesh is not good. And that night, I announced to my parents, yeah, I'll have a baked potato, I'll have sauteed mushrooms, I'll have spinach, and I'll have a sliced tomato. And that's how I ate. And I began becoming a vegetarian. And then life happened, and things happened. And after 6 years of being a vegetarian, every time I've been a vegetarian or a vegan, I've been the best shape of my life. I've been the best shape of my life. And anyone that says that you can't bodybuild and be a vegan is full of shit. I've seen amazing vegans that their bodies are outstanding. But let me ask you this. When you do ayahuasca, you do know, right, that they tell you not to eat meat for 2 weeks before you go into the retreat. You know that, right? Because a good shaman will tell you that's the rules of engagement. You're going to wear white. You're not going to have alcohol or pot. You're not going to eat meat 2 weeks before. You're not going to have sex 2 weeks before. That's the rules. You walk in, you're purified, you're clean, and you go in. With me, I've always been a vegetarian. My choice is to be a vegan most of the time. And to be a true vegan, you can't even have honey. It's maple syrup, just on the side note, so you know. But so I've never been a true vegan because I use honey. I don't use sugar, right? But I'm not in the best shape because I've been eating shit for a year or so. I'm being blunt. You can be a vegetarian and have to lose 20 pounds or 30 or more. But with that said, when COVID happened on a lockdown, a lot of gyms were shut down and so forth. So it was a problem for many of us. Beaches were shut down. Hiking trails were shut down. We were put in closets, basically. But anyway, on the side note, what will happen, I'm going to talk about 2 points that happen when you're going through the ascension. One, you will not be able to digest the food anymore, the meat. I remember I stopped even eating eggs because they would curdle in my stomach. I'd be on the couch writhing in pain because I couldn't even digest eggs anymore. Okay, so that can happen to you. The other aspect of it is that, think about it. You're eating something that wanted to live, and that includes fish. The fish isn't jumping on the boat, is it? It's fighting like hell in the net, is it not? It wants to live, does it not? So there's cortisols going through these beings, these sentient beings, right? Why would we want to eat that? Not to mention, if you're buying shit meat, what is shit meat? It's whatever you buy in the supermarket, it's shit, right? Chicken, shit. So I have clients who are diehard meat eaters. I'll be blunt with you, they are. And I would say, go to a farm, make a deal with other families, and make a deal. And make sure that it's done in the most humane way. But how humane is it to take a life? Not really very humane. But however, I'm not going to judge you because you have your journey. I know that my third eye is clearer than it would be if I was eating cortisol-ridden meat. Even Black Angus, because I lived up in Northern California, and I saw how the cows, grass-fed, all that shit, like it's great, how they were transported, like they were nothing, like they didn't have feelings. It's awful. And pigs in particular. So just, do what you need to do. This concept of blood type and this, I don't buy it. Read the book Super Genes with Dr. Deepak Chopra. I don't buy it at all. You can transcend anything genetically. Anything. You got to want to, though. If you convince yourself, like I remember when my father was diagnosed with lung cancer and he was told that he had very little months to live, he died 3 months later. First, he was ready, and two, he was programmed. So you got to kind of like ask yourself, what is true for you? Okay? What will you accept as your truth? Let me see here. What else? Watch the Game Changers. Random question. Any knowledge on clairaudience? Left, right, ear ringing, tapping. Well, I'm clairaudient, clairvoyant, clairsentient. So, it's downloads. I mean, ear ringing is when you're being upgraded. I love it how they're giving medicine out for that. It's like so incredible to me that they're giving medicine. I just started going back to the gym since COVID. No drinking, smoking, and celibate. Good for you. But when you self-pleasure, right? Use sex magic as a way to co-create with the universe and to manifest what you want. I have a video on that. If you look under, look for my videos. You'll see a couple with red hair, and you just look under my sex magic tape. It'll give you instructions on what to do. The quality of the meat has been what's been pushing me. I can smell the death on the meat. Of course it is. Of course it is. Easter is here, so keep your plates clean. Yeah, I mean, conscious eating. Conscious eating isn't just eating alkaline. It's eating, these are souls, okay? You can see it in their eyes. They can think. They can figure out how to jump out of trucks. You've seen cows run for their lives. You've seen them being taken, thank God, to farms where they could live out their lives and have their babies. They're not, when people say, oh, a carrot has feelings, so bless the carrot and then eat it. The carrot is not, there is a life form to the carrot or tomato. Of course there is, because if you've ever seen studies on plants, you put one plant where you talk shit to it, you put one plant where you give it all this love, the plant that you give all love thrives and blooms. The plant that you've talked shit to is dying. So yes, there's an energetic frequency. There's a consciousness to it. But if you bless the food, bless your water, bless, then you should be able to move through this life with no problems. But if you have, as a matter of fact, when me and my husband would eat a turkey, we would bless it. Or Cornish hens. We were more into poultry, to be honest with you. But to be honest with you, if you look at chickens, you'll see them hugging people. And goose and duck, they hug people. There's a consciousness. So even if a doctor told me, you will lose 60 pounds, Tony, or whatever, if you start eating meat, because by the way, it does work, but I would say no, because my choice is to live a clear life. And I want my third eye open. I want my crown chakra upgraded. I want these upgrades, and eating meat is just not part of my decision. It's a conscious human animal rights decision. But I'm not going to shame someone because they're doing it. I'm not going to be an asshole to them at all, because I know that it takes some time to get to that place of releasing that need for meat. And believe me, I'm not one of these vegans. Sometimes, because I was raised in France. I don't know if you guys know that. I was raised in France, south of France, Paris, so on. And I grew up to the marché, open marché, right, which is the markets. And I would see rabbits full on, and chickens with heads on and all of that. So I grew up with food with a face. So from the very beginning, I grew up with food. In other words, when they bring you a fish to your table, there's a fish, the whole fish is there, and they debone it and they fillet it and they serve it with this beautiful sauce and blah, blah, blah. But you are consciously aware that this once lived. And there's something good about that, okay? But like if I walk into a place where a charcuterie, right, where they make sausages, I love the smell. I remember the smell from my childhood. I love the smell. I'm being honest with you, but it's a conditioning that's still in my somatic memory, right? But I'm not going to do it at all. I won't do it. I can't do it. It's weird. Chickens purr. They are social and affectionate. I didn't know chickens purred. Wow. I want to grow, I know Gandhi ate unfertilized eggs, on a side note, so that's something to consider. I'm eating lentil, soya. Be careful with the soya. Veggie, sloppy Joe sandwiches. As we speak, it's delicious. When I first became vegan, the amount of ridicule I received was crazy. Because people's souls. See, let me just tell you a story. There was a story, and I'm not sure if it's true, okay? So there is a story that we had, Area 50 or 51, whatever it's called, had a series of men. I think there was one woman who went up to another planet, okay? and they lived with the people to study the flora, the fauna, how these starseeds lived on this other planet. So the story goes. And they went out to hunt for meat. And it was some kind of furry beast that tasted like rabbit or something. And when these starseeds came upon them, they were aghast. Like, you killed one of the animals? Like, they were like shocked. And they had to like, yeah, we eat meat in our... No, we don't do that here. Don't do that here. So many of us as starseeds are on planets where, first, we don't eat at all, number one. Or two, we eat a liquid system. Or three, we do eat, some kind of substances, roots and vegetables and so forth that we can, and fruits. And in some starseed planets, yes, they do eat meat. But they're very primitive. They're very primitive in some aspects. Okay? So for many of us, the memory of not eating meat is part of our conscious, truth. And for those who ridicule, I would never ridicule somebody eating a T-bone steak. A friend of mine ate in fact, I have friends who do eat meat and will go out in a restaurant. This has been a long time since I've been doing that, but just when it was happening. And I said, don't apologize. There's nothing to apologize for. Enjoy your meal. I don't want them to feel guilty at all. So anyone that ridicules a vegan and anyone that ridicules a meat eater is an asshole. No offense. It's truth. That's it. And they need to back the fuck off. So, and if you have to tell them that, then tell them that. I'm not kidding. Tell them exactly what I said. I would never shame you for eating meat. Don't shame me for my journey because you're acting like an a-hole. Don't do that to me. Okay? You tell them. So if you don't mind, because we need to educate meat eaters. I used to watch Gordon Ramsay. I'm a vegan at that point, but I'm still watching Gordon Ramsay. Why? Because there's something about him I used to like. And one of the things he was doing was raising animals to take to the abattoir and then to cook. And I'll never forget this particular episode where he had raised pigs in his yard in London. I kid you not. And one he gave beer to, and one he did not. And when he took him to the abattoir, right, to be butchered, he was crying. I loved him for that. He was crying. He said, folks, this is the reality of what ends up on your plate. I'm paraphrasing. And he was hurt. And then the next scene you saw him saying, yes, this is the one we did with the beer, and there's no difference. It makes no difference. And then he was just cooking dishes with these pets, basically, who he had named. And he did the same with veal. So I really respect people who respect what they're preparing for the public as chefs, who really respect the source. It was a sentient being that lived, and now it isn't, and now it's on your plate. Respect it. Do what the Native Americans did. Respect it. What the Druids did, right? All ancient cultures would have respect for whose life they were taking, for the most part, unless they were primitive, unless they were barbarians. You know what I mean? So, hi, Ian. Yeah, Ian. Isn't he vegan now? I don't know who you're talking about on who's vegan. In Korea, they have 200-pound chickens. Fun fact, too. 200-pound chickens? Jesus, are you kidding me? That's insane. Well, that's GMO in action, right? I would never... I know that there are some chicken chains that actually breed chickens with no feathers. Did you guys know that? You couldn't put $100,000 on the table, much less $50 for me to eat that. I would not ever eat that. God knows what that is. Never in a million years. So eating clean is how you define eating clean is your decision. But I know I just posted a video of this amazing African American woman who's 72, who looks amazing. She looks like she's, I don't know, I'm going to say 45. Her face may look like she's in her 50s, but not because she has wrinkles, but because eventually the face, there's a wisdom that comes over the face. She's almost ageless, but she's a vegan chef. Okay, vegan. And raw vegan. So that should tell you something. And every person who I ever saw who looked absolutely muscle tone, skin tone, all of that, absolutely phenomenal at any age, was ate raw. And eating raw is not easy. I remember I was following a couple in Ojai, and biracial couple. The kids were absolutely stunning. And he, for 6 months, only ate oranges. That's all he ate, oranges. So, and nothing wrong. I think he was in his early 60s, and his skin tone, muscle tone, he was ripped. Ripped. He looked amazing. So he wasn't passing out or whatever. So I can't really speak to that because I really cook all my food, which honestly I shouldn't. But I think that in the summer of this year, I'm going to go for a raw-based diet that's like 80% raw. And I might try to go 100% raw. And I'll tell you why. Because in the summer, it's easy. It's hot. It's, it's good. I did, eating raw is very difficult. I can't do raw vegan. Kudos to them. No kidding. They say our gut is our second brain. It is. And you know how they found out that our gut is our second brain? Through autism. Because autistic kid had what they call a leaky gut, which Andrew Wakefield talked about in the Lancet Journal. And they witch hunted that man like you wouldn't believe. But anyway, one of the things he had discovered was the leaky gut. And from him and his studies with kids with autism, who all have leaky guts. All of them have. That's why they have to do gluten-free, dairy-free. You've got to give them a lot of oils, different types of fats. They need a lot of fats for their brains. Alkaline water really help their brains. But probiotics, prebiotics, yes, it is. Our gut is our second brain. Without it, we're screwed. And those books didn't come out until 10 years after he made those discoveries. Actually, no, more like 15. 2015 is when I started seeing books on that subject. So it's interesting. Anyway, I'm going to give you one last oracle reading. Is that cool? And then we're going to call it a day. I think I am also going to ask you to look up my profile. And if you are into if you are on a twin flame journey and you want to read a book about that's I first released this book through a small publishing house called I forgot what they were called, Soaring Eagles. And they published my book as a fiction, but it's a nonfiction. And it's called Recall. And it's a quick read. One of the things I'm going to tell you, and I am promoting it, and I'll tell you why, because I haven't. Because I'm shy about things like that. I don't want to really promote. But I am going to promote it today, and I'll tell you why. Because this book, people have read this book over the years and have come back to me going, I don't know what's going on, but I'm having past lives of memories of my own. And I was telling this to Andromeda Flame, who bought the book, who really, she gave me a beautiful review. But it's the way it was written. It goes back, chapter 1, 1997. Chapter 2, 3,500 years ago in Mesopotamia. Chapter 3, 1997. I think it's the format. And the brain, as it's reading the book, is going back and forth into time, and it's unlocking some portals within the self, and the person is having their own, I'm not kidding, spontaneous past life connection with themselves, with their own past lives. That's actually why I'm promoting the book. It's an amazing book. I highly, highly recommend it. Do a past life regression session with Tony. It's an experience. Thank you, my love. Yes, I've been wanting to read your book. I purchased it a few weeks ago. I haven't read it yet. It's a book. Let me put it this way. When I wrote this book, I was writing 1 to 2 chapters a week, right? And it was going, I wrote it in 3 months, and it was going really fast. And I remember an old line from the guy who wrote the book Carrie. I'm trying to remember his name. Stephen King. He said, put your book, your manuscript in the drawer for 6 months. And if it keeps you up at night, it's a good book. So I have to tell you that it's an easy read. Very, very easy read. It's got, I'm warning you, it's very erotic. TikTok banned it from TikTok Shop. I kid you not. I was like in shock. What the fuck are they doing? And I tried to appeal it, and for whatever reason, they didn't allow the book to be, they won't let me sell it on TikTok Shop. And it's not nasty. That's what I don't understand. I'm like, I don't get it. It's called recall. Go on my profile, on my link tree. It's just right there. It'll take you directly to Amazon.com and you can buy it. And you can buy it on as a Kindle if you like, which is $4.99. And I think I have it on sale for $11.11, which is free shipping if you have Amazon Prime. And yeah, it's erotic because twin flame journeys are erotic. I mean, that's part of the things that we all talk about is, oh my God, the sex is off this, the intimacy is insane. It's insane, right? So I write about it. Why wouldn't I write about it? And I also write about the power and how women in the ancient world had to use their seduction for power because they couldn't wield the sword. So they had to do something. So sex was part of that game. Cleopatra is a great example of it. So it goes back and forth and back and forth. And it's an easy read. And I highly recommend it to you only because it may elicit past lives on your own. You may decide to do a hypnotherapy session. If you want, you can do it with me if you'd like. And I am a internationally certified hypnotherapist. I love doing past life regression. I salivate over it. It's my passion. I will never retire. To me, this is not work. This is joy. This is like, let's go excavate your brain. Let's go excavate your soul. Let's tap in and see what's there. It's extraordinary. Past life regression is like the most incredible experience. And people, I've had a couple clients like freak out, like, I don't see anything. Oh my God. And they start panicking. And I know how to get you there. The monkey mind is a bitch. That's why if you're going to consider doing it with me, okay, my protocol is you're not going to do anything after our session. You're going to be alone. You're going to just take care of yourself. But before you meet with me to do it, I'd like you to be in a habit of meditation and the habit of working on your chakras and the habit of getting your downloads. Does that make sense? Anyway, so this book, Recall, is part of the Anima series, and I'll start working on the second book probably after I've done my healing book, which I have to finish this year. And yeah, it's a quick romp, and it's set in Mesopotamia 3,500 years ago, and there's some surprises in there. It is a twin flame, high-level soulmate kind of story. Everything that happened, damn near happened exactly as I wrote it. It is based on my actual experiences, my actual downloads. I met a man by the name of, at the time, Malik. His name wasn't Malik. I changed the name. But on AOL. And the way he approached me was, do you believe in reincarnation? I was like, not, what are you wearing? Are you wearing this? Are you wearing, what? Do you believe in reincarnation? And before we knew it, we went onto this journey of a past life. I kid you not. All typed, all chat. I never heard his voice. I never saw his face. We didn't know what we looked to each other. And I don't want to say more than this. And what happened from this experience showed me that the new way that many of us were going to meet our twins, our starseed brothers and sisters, was through technology. This was happening in 1997 when all of this was brand new. And that's when I realized that the internet was going to be the village that would bring our communities together. Yes, please meditate before you do. My monkey brain was fighting. I know. And I got to call you to do your second session. I just find out I have a fantasia. I don't see colors when I meditate. Huh. I don't see colors when I meditate. Let me ask you this. Do you work on your chakras before you do your meditation? Because your chakras are connected with colors. So maybe do that. Maybe do that. Because what's interesting, when you have lucid dreams, you're not supposed to be numbers and letters. And yet when you have lucid dreams, you can see letters and numbers. Okay? In dreams, typically you don't. But in lucid dreams, you can. And colors is an interesting aspect. So what I would say to you is work on your chakras. All 9 chakras. Go on my profile page, look up Ho'oponopono, and go ahead and do that. Okay? That should help. Okay? That's how I'm healing my ancestral karma. Let me see. No, don't go on Amazon, Salty Jazzy, at all. It won't come up at all. Only through your link tree. Exactly. It doesn't come up. I don't know what the deal is with them. If you try to look for my book, Recall on Tony Barker, that you will not find it. Go on my link tree, on my profile page, on my link tree, and it links you directly to the book. Did you find it, Salty Jazzy, when you did the link tree? Only through your link tree. It sounds like you did. Met TF on TikTok. His spirit passed through me, and the obsessive thoughts started immediately. I do chakra work through yoga. Okay, I will. Yeah, forget yoga for now. Okay, that's a whole different type of physical thing. Sit in meditation and work on your chakras from the root to crown. Still not have met 200 miles away, speak telepathically. Beautiful. I met my husband who passed away in a lucid dream after the Ho'oponopono meditation. My Ho'oponopono meditation or a Ho'oponopono meditation? That's really beautiful, though. Beautiful. You can continue your connection with your husband in a transformed state. In yours. Oh, cool. That's beautiful. Yeah, well, you have to, the Ho'oponopono is on my profile page. It's pinned so that you can find it. It's pinned. I keep it pinned there because I know that I have clients all over the world who've downloaded it and they use it every night before they go to sleep. Okay? Because one, it goes through your 9 chakras, and 2, it's putting you in a state, it's releasing a lot of whatever guilt, regret that you may have, and then you go to sleep. So I would recommend it either as a morning ritual or as an evening ritual or what have you. That's good news. I'm glad, Katerina. That's beautiful. What an amazing experience. So yeah, go on my profile page, on my link tree. You'll see Recall if you want to buy the book. No, I'm not going to do Audible yet. I can't. I tried. I need the right equipment. I don't have the wherewithal, the money, the bandwidth to do that. I'd rather do lives with you. I'd rather concentrate on getting this bloody Patreon on so you guys can jump on some of my Zoom calls so that you guys can meet each other, hear each other's voices, and so forth. Thank you for today also. Thank you. So I'm going to let you go. I want to thank you all. I will upload this video on my YouTube channel. Again, it's on my link tree. If you want a reading with me, please don't get scammed. You need to go on my website, tonybarker.com, and fill out the intake form. If you're outside the U.S., make sure you give me your phone number, your WhatsApp number with your country code. But definitely make sure to realize that if somebody's hitting you up saying that and acting like they're me, because there's like 5 fake accounts that look like me, it's not me. My account has 27,700 people following me. That should give you a clue. Follow me when I'm live. That's what I do with people too. If I want to make, like Twitchy Witch is someone I do follow. Here, that's on a side note. Twitchy Witch. And I had to figure out who it was by, one day she went on live, saw her count, and I went, yeah, that's her. Okay, let me go ahead and follow her, right? That's how I followed her. So I follow Twitchy Witch. She has a lot of knowledge about, and she's a human rights activist and a spiritualist. And another person I follow who I really love is called Scarlet Fairy, something like that. You'll have to, you can look it up. I think you can see who I follow. Some people I follow for the wrong reason, and then I realize, oh shit, okay, and then I delete them. But for the most part, I follow a lot of people. I'm very curious by how people think, It's really cool. Thank you. I enjoyed your book. Oh God, really? You read it? Thank you for this live. Thank you for being there. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Enjoy. I wake up crying and feeling so grateful for the experience. That you should be. That's a beautiful gift. All right, my loves, I'm going to let you go. I will upload this on YouTube. Follow me on YouTube so that you can get all the lives you've missed. And me and Andromeda are working very hard to come up with the April 8th. If you're in the East Coast, my friends, you need to get up at like 5:15 a.m. I mean, up and out of bed. At 5:21, the portal's open. That's East Coast time. If you are in the West Coast, you remove 3 hours. That means you got to get up at 2:15 a.m. to be there. Okay? Oracle. Oh, you want an oracle? Okay. All right. I'll give you a quick oracle because we've lost some people already, but let me go ahead and do an oracle reading. It's by the Spiritual Awakening, okay? And bloody hell, where's the book? Hang on, because if the book's not here, bear with me. Let me look for something else. Bear with me. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'll do the oracle from Kyle Gray. I really like him. Let me give you that one. It's from the gateway activation. That's perfect oracle, actually, to finish it off. All right. So it's from the gateway light activation. And when you're ready, I'm shuffling. Pick top, bottom, or middle. Top, bottom, or middle. And when you're ready, pick top, bottom, or middle. Top, bottom, or middle. Ready? Salty. Top, bottom, or middle? Top. Anyone else? Okay. Middle. Anyone else? Top. Okay, you got it. I'm doing top. Awesome. Top. Crystal skull wisdom, clarity, divine healing, high vibrational energy. Okay, so I'm going to be blunt. I'm putting you on notice. You need to find yourself, actually, better yet, you need to be aware that a crystal skull is looking for you. I'm not being funny. It could be the size of your thumbnail. It could be the size of the fist of your fist, right? Or in between that. But you're being put on notice that you need a crystal. So hang on, let me look at where that is. So crystal skull wisdom. Unfortunately, they don't number the cards, so I've got to look through all these. Bear with me, okay? Crystal skull wisdom. The card, the page is 61. 61, which is 7. 7 is the journey. 7 wonders of the world. All right, let me read it to you. Crystal skulls are said to have been healing tools and wisdom keepers in the ancient civilization of Atlantis and Lemuria. Quartz crystal is known for its capacity to amplify energy and store information. When a crystal skull is carved into a particular shape, it can bring a healing and clarity to what it represents and uncover memories that could be essential to revealing truth. Therefore, crystal skulls are wonderful healing tools that bring clarity to the mind and healing to the headspace. This card transports us to the energetic space representing the crystal skull consciousness. It delivers a high vibrational frequencies into our energy field so that we can experience clear-mindedness. If you have ever felt called to crystal skulls or have an interest in them, there is a possibility that you have connected with them in a previous incarnation. They are gateways to clarity and potential. When I bought my crystal skull, which is the size of my fist, it was in Malibu. And a bigger skull worth $15,000, and believe me, had I had the money, I would have bought it, was sitting next to it. And the purveyor, the shop owner, said to me that crystal skull, these 2 crystal skulls had sat with the Mitchell Hedges skull, which is reported to have been the skull of an Atlantean priestess, unalivened by a warring faction, and that her skull had been changed, transmuted, transformed into a crystal skull with a lower mandible. You know, the lower jaw moves, you can remove it. And so it's called the Mitchell Hedges skull. When I saw this skull, the size of my fist, it spoke to me and said, "You will own me." I was like, "I don't have the money. Were you crazy? I can't own you." But I was visiting it like you would visit a puppy at a pet store. And one day I got the exact sum of money from a client, and I ran down that place and bought the skull. And I had a box made for it, and I travel with it. And so they pick you. You don't pick them. I'm not kidding. They pick you, okay? But let me continue. Connect. Visualize yourself being transported to the heart of the stars and ask to be connected to the crystal skull consciousness. Take time to breathe and receive a direct transmission from these crystal beings. All aspects of your life are becoming clearer at this time. Expect to become aware of what you need to step away from to have a more focused path. You have felt indecisive, but now you are downloading direct guidance from the heart of Source so that you can live and express yourself in a more authentic way. Know that downloads often appear as your own inner guidance encouraging you to move forward. The key is to recognize the calmness they bring. This is a time of clarity and connection. Crystal Skull downloads are here to bring clarification to what you have been receiving within. In order for the next phase of your journey to unfold, you must follow the information you have received. You know what you need to do to heal and grow. If you've been asking for a sign that the healing work you have been doing has been successful, trust that this card is the message you've been waiting for. Thank you for Salty for asking me to do this. This was a beautiful, beautiful reading. Any questions, parting words before we go? I want to thank you again for being patient. and for traveling with me this morning. Yeah, it is a cool card. Really, really cool. Any other questions or comments before we go? I want to thank you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Very grateful for your presence. And again, I will upload this. Don't get scammed. If you want a reading, you know what to do. You contact me directly. I will never reach out to you. Please don't get scammed. Hypnotherapy session. I have videos on what you can expect from videos, from the hypnotherapy sessions. Don't be scared. Hypnotherapy is fantastic. In fact, if you want healing, massive healing, and massive self-knowledge, hypnotherapy is the path to that. Because it's like a 2-hour journey. Sometimes it goes 3 hours. It's amazing. Finally, I want to thank you for everything you're doing. Please look up April 8th. Make sure you're aware and ready to rock and roll the planet to 5D. And be patient with the outcome. It's not an immediate, you're not going to see the immediate harvest to your labor, but your harvest, your planting of the seeds will bring the harvest you seek. Trust me on that. So look up April 8th. I love you all. Thank you so much. Namaste. I'll see you soon. No, bye-bye.